I'm going to regret this one. Okay. Looking at this game from a purely objective point of view, and this is hard for me because I hate this game. I literally do. I hate this game. But I'm going to try my best to put aside my hatred of this game and look at it objectively. Now, the reason is because I want to do this, and I want to do this right. Despite the fact I hate the game, it's not a bad game. I'm going to say that right now. Okay. The third birthday is the pseudo-sequel to Parasite Eve. Now, from what I understand and everything I've read, basically Square lost the rights to Parasite Eve. They retained the characters because all the characters were original, but the main story focus of mitochondria and everything, they lost the rights and reverted back to a novel. Which sucks. Because we got this. And I'm not going to go into the story yet because, in all honesty, my biggest issue with this game is the story. That is it. The gameplay doesn't bother me. It's not very interesting to me, but it's okay. Let me go over gameplay mechanics real fast here. Basically, for gameplay mechanics, it's a run and shooter, cover-based shooter game. You know, we've seen this before. We have Gears of War. We had several other games that's come out over the years, and they're essentially the same thing. You know, you find cover, you shoot. Now, I will give this game some props in some areas, though. This game is hard. Third birthday, your first time going through, I guarantee you're going to die a lot. And it's just hard. That you don't do a lot of damage. You're basically chipping away at enemies' defenses. And you're waiting to overdrive. So let me talk about overdrive, because I just mentioned it and I haven't said anything about it. Okay. Overdrive is a unique aspect to Third Birthday because it allows you to jump into other soldiers that are in the area, or civilians, or cops, or whoever's in the area. You can jump into their body and take them over, and basically you continue this jumping mechanic around enemies, trying to keep moving, trying to keep alive. And each one of the soldiers that you, or civilians that you get a hold of, will have a certain amount of weapons. Now, they usually carry at least 2 of the same weapons that you've had the whole time, but every now and then they'll carry, like, one might have a rocket launcher or a grenade launcher or something that you haven't had in your inventory. That's the first part of Overdrive. The second part of Overdrive is after you've chipped away at the enemy's defenses so much, a triangle will appear, and it's basically signaling that the enemy is now vulnerable to Overdrive. So you hit the Overdrive button, and you literally leap into the enemy and make an explosion come from inside the enemy out and doing massive damage. And a lot of times it's outright killing the enemy, or at least bringing it down to a huge amount of HP that's been taken off. Overall, the battle system's fine. I don't have, like I said, my issues with this game is not the battles. I'm not a real big shooting fan myself, but it's okay. You know, it's not great. It's just okay. There is some little bit of variety in the game. You have a sniper section. You also have a turret section where you get to fire out of the tank. You have a section where you're flying around a helicopter. You're firing at a building. These are very short and spread out throughout the game. And unfortunately, even though it's there, they're very, when I say they're short, I mean they're very short. Like the helicopter sequence, I think it's like maybe 2 minutes. And prior to that, you've been fighting for probably somewhere around 40, trying to get through the building. So, Enemies in the game, like I said, they hurt a lot. I mean, it's nothing to go through a whole group of soldiers overdriving into them over and over. And basically be down to the last soldier in the room and just holding and praying that another soldier comes in so you can get so you can jump into them and start the process over again. You also have Reapers in the game, which appear at a few certain times, and they're completely invulnerable. Basically, your best solution is to run, and you don't get a means of fighting them until late in the game. And if I remember right, you meet up with I think 3 or 4 of them before you ever get to the end of the game. Music. Well, okay, hang on. I think there was something I'm missing here in Battle Mechanics. I am the DNA chart board. The DNA chart board is interesting. It's a little confusing. Basically, you get a chip, you put that chip down, you put another chip down, and it will open up certain abilities for you to use. And depending on what you're using, it could be really useful, it could be really not useful. It kind of depends. Mostly they're used for your weapons, trying to make them more powerful. Some of them do a little more health, some of them do a few other things here and there. Also, another battle mechanic, which I just remembered, I can't believe I forgot, is the fact that, and this is probably the most well-known, is that as you take damage, you lose pieces of your clothing, because your clothing is your armor, and until eventually you're pretty much running around just in ripped up clothing, showing off your bra and your panties, and just little big pieces of clothing on there. That's not a major issue, to be honest with you. I don't really have that doesn't really bother me as bad as you think. It kind of makes sense in a certain way, because you're dealing with so much of this, so many of these monsters that they're hitting you left and right, and it's trying to show that you are taking damage from them. I freely admit it's there for sex appeal, but I don't know. It's just a strange mechanic to have in the game. We had Batman Arkham Asylum. He had battle damage done over time, and that worked in that game because it made sense, because it was with the story and he'd been through a lot of stuff, and it made sense that he'd have a lot of damage during the whole night he was in there. But this, you could go through one battle and just come out of it and you just almost nude, and I don't know, it's a strange mechanic all around. It's very strange. Let's see. I think that's it for the. You do have some weapon variety. You have handguns, shotguns, rifles, which you'll probably be using the assault rifles all the time. Grenade launchers, and a few other special weapons that you can acquire. Overall, they're not that. They're really not that great. You can buy certain equipment to upgrade them slightly. They will become a little bit better. Overall, it doesn't really matter because, like I said, the enemies in this game are just, they're hard. Let's see, battle system, anything else I can think of? Not really. So, there you go, battle system. It's okay, it's fun, sort of. It's a slog to go through, but it is playable. Like I said, my main issue with this game is not really the battle system. You do gain levels. I should mention that. You do gain levels. But the levels ain't really that big. Oh, there is one other game mechanic. Whenever you fill up the bar at the bottom, it's the liberation bar. The liberation bar fills up slowly as you deal more damage and you get damage done to you. And once it's completely filled, you can go into liberation mode, and basically you move at 2 times the speed and fire a lot more shots, and you can do a lot more damage that way. It's very short. It lasts maybe about 10 seconds tops, and it's fine. It reminds me a lot of the Vincent's Limit Break moves from Third Cerberus, if you ever played that. It's not the best in the world, but it's okay. Okay. Some other good things about the game. Graphically speaking, this is one of the most beautiful PSP games I've ever seen. It looks phenomenal. The graphics are crisp. They're nice. They look great. So I don't really have anything negative to say about the graphics. They look really good. Even the in-game graphics and while you're running around fighting look really good. The enemy designs in the game look really good. A lot of stuff in the game. It's really strange because, like I said, I hate this game. But there's a lot of things they do right and a lot of things in the stories where it goes wrong. But I'm not talking about the story right now. I'm talking about these other things. The graphics are good. They're top notch. Voice acting is not that great, but it's not bad. It's just kind of right there in the middle. It's square. You know, sometimes they have great voice acting, sometimes they seem like they, shit on a log and just hired the first guy that came off the street. But whatever. Sound design's okay. Music. Now, music is good. Yoko Shimomura, I believe her name. I have always had trouble saying her name. The original composer of Parasite Eve and Kingdom Hearts, as well as several other games, Super Mario RPG comes to mind. She returns and does the music for this game, and the music in this game is great. She does a whole new remix to her original Primal Eyes, and it's really good. I still prefer the original, but this is still a good one. I actually prefer the original, then this one, and then actually Parasite Eve 2's. So music in this game is something I actually like to listen to, and so there you go. There's some good things I can say about the game. From purely a gameplay aspect, I would say the game's interesting to play. If you don't want to pay any attention to the story, the game's interesting enough to play around with. It's got enough challenges. It's got a lot of replay value to it because you open up more feats and you get more costumes. You get it's got replay value. Okay, now let's talk about where this game falls apart and why I hate this game so much. I'm going to be spoiling the hell out of this game from here on out. So, if you want a score, I'll go ahead and give you a score right now. Now, like I said, I'm going to look at this objectively. Despite the fact I hate this fucking game, I'm going to look at it objectively. From an objective point of view, it'll get a 3 out of 5. And that's basically because of the battle mechanics, the graphics, and the music. And the interesting gimmick that they have with the overdrive system. That's it. 3 out of 5. Okay, so from this point on, I am going to spoil the shit out of this game. Why? Because I don't fucking care. I hate this game. So I've spoken for the last 13, almost 14 minutes. And, I gave the game enough of the thing. So now I'm going to get ripping a new asshole. So, watch out, motherfuckers, because I'm about to get loud. The story in this game is complete and utter fucking batshit. It deals with time travel, and it makes absolutely fucking all no sense. I don't even know where to start. It makes fucking no sense. The characters... Aya is completely out of character the whole entire game. And there's a reason for that, and I will get to that. And that's one. If there's anything in this game that pisses me off more than that, it's that. And I will get to it, but I'm going to stick right here right now. Aya is completely out of character the whole game. She is not the same character from the first 2 games. She is more weaker. She is sexualized to hell and back. She is... Sorry, I'm trying to calm down because I'm getting angry. she's not the same character. She is, by all the means, portrayed as a weak woman, and Aya was never a weak woman. She had vulnerability about her, that's true, but she was never one to just cower down or do anything that, she couldn't do. The rest of the cast in this game, they're not that memorable. I remember Blank. That's about it. Hyde. Who gives a shit? Maida's in this game, and he's completely done wrong. He comes off as a creepy pervert. Remember Maida from Parasite Eve? Charming guy. Kind of a loser, but he had a little bit of a crush on Aya, but at the same time, he wasn't creepy. He was just kind of like, hey, just very soft-spoken guy. Not in this game. He's a creepy motherfucker. Talks about wanting to experiment on Aya and wanting to be with Aya and everything else in the most creepiest fashion ever. It's like, what the fuck? Now, now, the time travel aspect, anytime you approach a time travel story, you're opening up a whole box of worms that's going to explode. Because unless you tell it with consistency with your rules that you're establishing, it's not going to make any damn sense. There are plot holes in some of the best time travel stories out here, but to a certain degree it keeps its own logic. Back to the Future has some plot holes in it, but to a certain degree it keeps its own logic, and it's well told regardless of the matter. Chrono Trigger is well told, and there is a couple of plot holes here. Kingdom Hearts is well told, and it has fucking plot holes in it. If you want to know what I'm talking about there, second game, he goes back to the past. Dream Drop Distance, explain how time travel works. It doesn't make any sense. But it's still well told, so you don't even think about it. This is not well told. This is garbage. Pure and simple. It's a piece of shit. The story is garbage. It makes absolutely no damn sense. Nothing about it is you'd have to be shit, I don't even know. You would have to have like 6 freaking minds going at light speed trying to comprehend this damn story. It's awful beyond belief. I don't even know how to start it. I honestly don't. You have a sequence showing that A is getting married to Kyle, and she and Kyle are gunned down. And from that point on, Aya doesn't remember anything. Okay. Now the weird thing is that despite that happening, I was willing to roll with this. I was like, okay, fine. She has amnesia. Alright, I can get that. It can explain some change in personality. She isn't quite aware of what she's done or what's happening. She may not be aware of the powers she has. Okay? But the way the story keeps going, you see them more and more that that's not the case. Basically, this is really hard to explain because the story's so fucking convoluted. And I gotta go to what I hate the most about this game to explain why the story's so fucking convoluted. Okay, basically, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to. Okay, I'm gonna explain why I hate this game so much. The number one thing of all that pissed me off in this game, and I'll explain why the story sucks. The number one thing in this game that pisses me off is what they do to Aya. You're not playing as Aya through the whole game. She looks like Aya, she sounds like Aya, she moves like Aya, she fires like Aya. She's not Aya. It's Eve. And at the very end of the game, you as Eve have to shoot Aya and kill her. You cannot proceed, you cannot get to the end of the game unless you do so. It is a big fuck you if you are a Parasite Eve player from long ago to the player. And that pisses me off. Because it is character assassination. You destroyed a well-developed character from years ago. And if you really just wanted to do a fucking reboot, do a fucking reboot. Start the game over. You did not have to do this shit. But they did. So, it's a piece of shit. The whole fucking thing is a piece of shit. Because what happened there at that wedding that they were gunned down at was that Eve was there, so was Aya, so was Kyle. Okay, 3 characters from Parasite Eve 2, right? Okay, because they were gunned down, Aya brought the Twisted in from her death. Eve hopped into Aya's body and destroyed Aya's soul. Okay, so what the fuck did I do at the end of the game? I shot Aya, and I mean, you get why I'm getting here? Why the story's so fucking convoluted? Because then from there, you have these things called the High Ones that appear, which are Cray, Gabrielle, some black guy I don't even fucking remember. I think that is Gray, and Hyde, and some random chick that was Eve's friend. I don't remember her name. And all these fucking characters are called the High Ones, and they're the ones that were trying to get back to point 0, which point 0 is where the fucking wedding zone is, to stop the fucking chain of events from happening to begin with. To the point where it's like, okay, well, where the fucking High Ones come from in the first place? What the fuck, man? You know, it's I mean, about make your head explode trying to comprehend the damn story. It's not that hard to tell a fucking Parasite Eve story. Even if you lost the rights, you can still tell a Parasite Eve story. It's not that fucking hard. Pick a place, put Aya there, have fucking monsters. That's it. That's all you gotta do. You know, create a story around it. You ain't gonna involve fucking time travel and Twisted and overseers and bullshit like that. Overdrives and God, I mean, fuck. It isn't that hard to tell a damn story about Parasite Eve. I could write a fucking story about Parasite Eve. Shit. I have written stories about Parasite Eve. I mean, fuck. It's not that hard, man. I've seen there was a chick on GameFAQs. Her name was Melissa Maya. She was writing an excellent fanfic one time about Eve and Aya, and it was taking place about 15 years in the future. Well, maybe not that far, but it was at least 10. And it was an excellent story. She never from what I could tell, she never finished it. But from what I read of it, it was excellent. It had a good start, good middle, good, character stuff going on. Had monsters in it, and it was good. This isn't. This is bullshit. This time travel, twisted character assassinated over whatever the fuck they are, overdrive bullshit. I mean, what the fuck, man? I hate this fucking game, man. If I had a sledgehammer, I would smash this fucking game to pieces. Because of the damn story. And I've played games before where I don't care for the story at all. But I care about Parasite Eve. And maybe that's my problem. Maybe it's the fact that I liked Parasite Eve. And the game they made was a piece of shit as far as story goes. And it pisses me off. Even 3 years after the fucking game came out, it still pisses me off. It was, like I said, it was basically a fuck you from Square to any fan that was a Parasite Eve player. I mean, the final action of the game. You shoot Aya. What the fuck? And then you have a screen, if you beat the game again, you have a screen where it shows Aya walking by Eve and wishing her a happy 4th birthday. And you're like, okay. So what the hell happened? I mean, seriously, what the fuck happened in this game? Is it canon? And if it is, why? Like I said, I would have been perfectly happy if they just did a fucking reboot. If you wanted, okay, and let's say you didn't want to do a reboot. Let's say you wanted to make Eve as the main character. That's easy to do. Have Eve grow up and become a fucking cop. Or a missed officer. I don't know. Something. You know, Aya doesn't have to be the main character. She can be a side character. Or, you know, Aya died and Eve's trying to avenge her or something. I don't know. Something that would make more damn sense. I mean, it would have been... I guarantee you, if Aya would have been killed by something or another and Eve going after it for revenge, it would have been a lot more well accepted by the Parasite Eve community. But, you know, I like games that you can think about, where you fight, or where the story is very engaging and you can think about it. This game is not one of them. It's a piece of shit. The story is too damn convoluted for its own good. It's too overwritten. It's just shit. I don't know how to put it any other way. But maybe that's the biggest deal of it all. Square did something, trying to restart the series after 10 years of not doing shit with their franchise. 10 or 11 years. You know, Parasite Eve's not the only one that didn't get anything else done with it. Chrono Trigger. How about Brave Fencer Masashi did get one. Threads of Fate. Threads of Fate's another one that never got anything done with it, even though it was open for a sequel. Vagrant Story never got anything new added to it. Secret of Mana 3. You know, they chose this property, Parasite Eve, and then completely ruined it. For what? At the end of the day, it just makes me angry. And that's why I don't like talking about it. That's why I refer to this game as garbage. The battle system's fine. The music's great. I like the music. The graphics are incredible to look at. But I hate the story. I hate what this game did. It destroyed Parasite Eve. You know, I would have been perfectly... You know, if they didn't want to do a damn sequel to the game, fine. Leave it at Parasite Eve 2. I would have much rather that. At least Parasite Eve 2 ended. It wasn't a great ending, but it was an ending. This is bullshit, you know. But anyway, I don't know. So this is the first review rant that I've done. But yeah, from an objective point of view, like I said, and I tried to be as calm as I could, and then I rant and raved for like maybe 20 minutes like a baby. I'm sorry, but it pissed me off. I don't know what to do. Anyway, this is the Renegade. And I hope to God that they never do that again. Yeah. But it's square. We don't know. I don't know what they're doing anymore. I don't know what they're going to do. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. Anyway, this is Renegade Gamer. You have a good day. Y'all take it easy.